This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. And today, we will see if we can achieve my most disliked video of all time. That's what we're going for, intentionally. What the heck is the matter with me? Let's find out. But first, don't be a green in the not subscribed. Get into the blue. Be a subscribed member. Go blue. Do it now. Now, I say. On that note, Lurrus Rogues. Lurrus Rogues. My god. As a blue mage, I realized the other day. Let me start there. I actually never made a deck with the Lurrus version of Rogues. I made a version with Nighthawk Scavenger, Rankle, Xerath. I made a version with Slitherwisp. I never actually did the Lurrus of the Dream Den version of Rogues that has, in many ways, just taken over Best of One. You've seen it. You've seen it a million times. And I know you hate it. Because no matter what video I make, you talk about how much you hate Rogues in the comments. So let it fly. I'm an evil blue mage. How can I not play this deck? But Wizards has done an amazing job, and I mean an amazing job, making a deck that is so fun for the blue mage to play, but is so obnoxious for everybody, including the blue mage, to play against. And there are always people who love to point me out as a hypocrite because I play these decks, but then when I play against them, I say they are annoying. Yes, they are. I know that when I play them. It doesn't make me a hypocrite. I am very much aware. It just means I don't care about my opponent's feelings. That's what being evil. That's what being evil is all about. That's what being blue mage is all about. We're having fun. It's up to you to figure out how to have fun against us. Not my job. You can tell me all you want about that life philosophy, but I'm telling you, when I'm playing Magic, that's why when people hit me with the hello, I hit them with the your go. Your job to have fun, not mine. My job is to make you suffer and squirm and be miserable. And this deck does an amazing job of it. But I will say this, playing this in Best of One, where it is a very competitive deck. By the way, MTG Arena Assistant. Don't forget to check it out. There's this sweet metagame stuff that you can look at where we see Dimir Flash, 11.6% of the meta. Dimir Lurrus, 5.4% of the meta. So over 15, 16, 17% of the meta taken up by these Dimir Rogue strategies. You know they're popular. You know they're out there. The most If you combine these, it's the most likely thing you'll face on ladder. So this is a very common thing, and I know you hate it, but I see people out there playing this deck not the way I would play it. And I want to share my way of playing the deck in this video. So I'm not going to talk too much about card choices. This is very customizable. I'm going to say quickly that most of this is just locked in stock. Let me separate the cards that are like maybes. And then everything else is pretty locked in. This is what you play. And that would be all this stuff. You could do it without Cling to Dust, but I think at this point people have figured out Cling to Dust is your only weapon against some of the escape cards out there, and it makes a big difference. So I feel like this shell is locked in. You could play Temple instead of Triumph. If you do that, you might not play Castle Locthwain because Temple makes Castle enter the battlefield tapped on turn 2. That's about it. But otherwise, this is... Everybody plays this. Then over here, they figure out, do I want more counter spells? Do I want more removal spells? What do I want? I'm going with a removal-heavy set of options to battle Rakdos and Gruul. If you care about beating Yorion and the mirror match more than Rakdos and Gruul, then you may want to run Mystical Dispute, Negate. Those are the cards that you might make room for by cutting some of this stuff. Don't worry too much about that. The real juice of this particular video, I know you hate it. I'm going to try to show some of you how to play the deck, in my opinion, a little better, because I see a lot of people playing it on the ladder a bit awkwardly. This is a control deck. It can be a beatdown deck, and sometimes it should be, but way too many people, when I play against them, play this deck exceptionally aggressive, and I can tell that they make mistakes and they fall into traps, and I'm able to trap them and beat them with all kinds of decks that should not beat them, like my Eerie Ultimatum deck is a good example of a deck that I've used to beat rogues that should never, ever beat rogues, and it's because people get too aggressive. You can play this like a control deck. Your Thought Thief, your Enforcer, your Merfolk Windrobber, early in the game, these are ways to fill the opponent's graveyard. But that's really all that they're there for. We don't care that much about the damage. Once the graveyard is full, then we've got this Mill Win Con that we've begun the start of, which the crabs are the finisher for. But our Drown in the Loch and our Into the Story are turned on. And from there, we want to fight a resource battle. A lot of people cling to their Windrobbers while they're missing land drops and don't have answers for the board. Sacrifice those things. Draw some freaking cards. All right. A lot of people don't want to block with their Soaring Thought Thief. Flash it in and block. Trade with it. If you are killing their stuff and you have draw fours in your deck and your opponent doesn't, you're probably eventually winning when you find this. Trade your Thieves Guild Enforcer up whenever possible. You know, block that Questing Beast. Block that Lovestruck Beast. Get out there. Ambush them. And make sure that you get 7 cards in the graveyard. Like, sequence, don't rush this to the battlefield if you know it's just going to get hit by a freaking Bone Crusher Giant, all right? Hopefully I'll show you some of this stuff in the games we play, because I think there's a lot of learning to be done on this, and I know that comes off as me being a know-it-all, but I have strong opinions about how to play blue decks. It's kind of in my wheelhouse. It's my thing. So in the meantime, if you out there really hate this deck, if you really hate this deck and you still watch this intro, you didn't turn it off right away, or you were kind of entranced by the idea of making this my most disliked video ever, let's go for it. Just let the hate out. Hit the dislike button. You have my blessing. I will not stop you. I can't stop you anyway, but I won't hold it against you. I won't get sensitive. By all means, let's see if we can make this my most disliked video ever. 1,000 dislikes. Can we do 1,000 dislikes? Let's go. Hit it. Do it. Take your weapon. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete. Let's dive in and let the nonsense begin. D's hand, but no removal. We'll have to come up with it, but we should be able to cast Into the Story. Labyrinth of Scophos. Message received. Do I pay 3 life to Thieves Guild here? I think, well, oh man. It's actually tricky, right? Because I could lead with the crab. What actually mills the most? Because you want this in play when you play this. So I think it's the crab. Because then next turn I can shock this in, mill 3, play Thieves Guild Enforcer, mill 2, play Windrobber, mill 2. That's 7. Alright, Colorless Monument. I'm probably not what they wanted to play against, but I don't feel confident in my hand. Oh, Mono Black Monument. Okay. Myriad Construct still in the deck. Love the deck, really do. But you must be defeated here. Cheeky crab attack. Alright. So hopefully we're dodging Extinction Event, as that would be particularly nasty. Elspeth's Nightmare is a good one too. They go straight for the crab. Alright, we need a card in their graveyard to power this up. Doesn't look like we're going to find it easily. They're going to take my Into the Story, so I guess we'll draw this Lurrus. That Elspeth's Nightmare was so brutal. Absolutely brutal. I mean, this is just so easy for them. But we're not out of the wood. We're not done yet. We might still find a way. Yeah, wow. Look at that curve. Look at that curve. It's so miserable. All right, Lurrus. Help me pull it together. You've got to be kidding me. All right. So they got rid of the Lurrus. Now we need to get it back. We've got the Awakening. They know about the Awakening. We're drawing all the removal spells we don't want to draw. I think I just pop this and try to get another card here. And it's an Enforcer. All right. We need an untapped land to get back the Lurrus. What are they up to? It takes careful manual taps. Okay, drawing with Tome. Big play. Love it. And another Mythos. Mythos of Nethroi is interesting. Do they have ways to make the mana? You don't need it, but it seems fun. This hurts, but we do what we must. There's Shadow's Verdict as well. Oh my goodness. We're wrecked. Okay. It's got to be like into the story now to have a chance. Our opponent's running 3 Shadow's Verdict minimum, probably 4, and 4 Extinction Event. Oh! And all land. Cool. We play on. I don't know how we win, but we play on. Another nightmare. What are we on? 2 cards in the grave? Alright, 2 Thought Thieves. Guess we can cast those at end of turn. What's the opponent going to take? Probably the Cling? So maybe we should Cling in response. What do we take? The Ugin? I don't know if it matters. They probably take the Awakening, actually. So maybe we can hold the Cling? I just feel like we should play it anyway. Who knows what we might hit, but we don't really want to hit like a counterspell and then have the counterspell get taken by this. But I guess that's really fringe. But it's also not worth it, because what if it is near the top of the deck? Besides, if they leave the Awakening, that's going to be a lot of work too. A lot of work for the opponent to figure out how to manage. What's their deck? 28. Well, we're in the second half. If they take the Heartless Act, they're planning to attack me with the Barons a few times and win the game that way. Looks like they're not even touching Cling to Dust yet. Not even considering it. It's just another card, so maybe that makes sense. And we're going to lose our graveyard, so that makes sense. One of the Thirsts. Okay, Ugin. They're trying to make Ugin happen. Alright. Let's not play this because we're about to lose our graveyard. Do we drop these? Yeah. Mythos, because why not? opponent's 100% removal deck has solved Magic the Gathering. Sure. Why not? So now do we cling? Yeah, because we can get another card out of it. Because we can escape it. I think it would be greedy to expect a bunch more cards after that. Alright, drew Drown. Oh, we can get back... We can get back one Thief. We can also play this first. Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but we don't have enough black mana after that to hold up Drown. And we lose Cling. So what's better? I think Clinging is better. And there's no way to play it around the Nightmare. Don't think it matters what we exile. Don't think it's coming back, but, you know. Gotta exile the big boss when you can.
I did all I did.
And we got our bonus card. We say go. Sometimes you work your butt off for a draw too. Radiant Fountain. 27 cards to go. Our opponent's actually running very low on resources. We have a bunch of resources that don't matter too much, but I guess the Heartless Axe do hold back the Barons for a minute. I don't think we pay that much life to draw. Not against the Barons. 2 more cards to go. Wind Robber, let's try for that. That resolves, nice. They use the lab. Okay. I unattacked. There is an option here to basically draw a card for 4 mana with the Wind Robber. Yeah? Because drawing another Into the Story is probably getting really close to winning the game. And I'll just do this while we can. We also get to mill. Another mill. Just get that value. Oh, that's a lot of land. Another Shadow's Verdict from the opponent. We could counter it. Is that what's important? I actually don't know that it's important. At this rate, our opponent decks first. I think we can let those things go. Blue, 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 black, black, black. More likely to use more black because of the castle. The construct, if it is kicked, it enters with additional +1/+1 counter. When it becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it that many. Yeah, that's not something we can beat. Out of there. I will take the draw. With 2 Heartless Axe, I'm not afraid of the Barons yet, and I think an extra card could make the difference. Okay. Deck is being weird. 18 cards. Deck is being very, very lopsided. Here comes the Barons. Alright, they can get it to 6. That means we can kill it. Pass to blockers. They go for the pump. Remove up to 3. Gotta do this right. Submit 3. Remove up to 3. Got it. Baron's down. Alright, getting low on life though. 5. Mill for a card. 16 cards. Cycle. Heartless Act. Draw. Soaring Thought Thief. Okay. Now we don't have to get it back right now, because we might be using that on the Thought Thief. And then we get 2 cards back. Another Barons for the opponent. They're not going easy. Ooh. They can knock me to 2, and then I Blood Chief's Thirst the Ugin, and then they attack with the Barons, and we have to make sure we can keep blocking it. Or we can destroy the Barons with the Drown. But that resolves. We could counter it, but I don't think that's the play. We're gonna live on the edge, everybody. That's the way it is.
Ghost fire, my greatest creation. My research has concluded.
All right. So I don't really want to use the Drown on the Barons. So I need to hold this back. The opponent attacks with Barons. If they double pump it, I can remove counters. If they remove it, I'll drown it. I'm just trying to avoid that. I'm really trying to avoid that. Extinction event. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. I still want to use this Heartless Act on the Barons, so we let this happen. And we make it look like we are weak. We are not weak, we are strong. But they don't know. We want them to go for the lethal. They will not go for the lethal. Okay. Ooh. Alright. $14 cards. No Ugin. Is that all of them? That's all of them, right? Okay. Goodness gracious. Alright, we want the opponent to think that top decking a removal spell wins them the game here. As we play another Wind Robber. The Tome. Interesting. Very interesting with 11 cards to go. And they'll draw. And the Tome? Okay. And they'll draw. 9 cards. Get 'em. Get 'em. 2 important cards there gone. There's another. There's another. All right. I don't think they can top deck 2 damage. I could probably figure out exactly what's in their deck by going through their entire graveyard. Probably waste a lot of your time, though. I mean, I'd use the Radiant Fountains, but what do I know? They don't run Forsaken Monument. I guess they just wanted the land value without the monument? Seems weird. I'd probably run at least one, especially with Myrig Construct. But I don't see any monuments. We don't have to show the eliminate. We might play this person again on ladder someday. Heartless Act they know about. Eliminate, not really. No blue mana against Yorion. On one hand, we'd have time to set up. On the other hand, it's just not worth the risk. So we'll keep this. We'll put away the Blood Chief's Thirst because I think it's going to be useless in the matchup. And then we get to open the show, but I think we play Triome, and then next turn we play Crab, Swamp, Enforcer, then the next turn the Thought Thief. Our opponent goes to 5. Not every day you see both players mulligan in best of 1. That hand smoothing algorithm is, it's a thing. Mono white Yorion, perhaps? Is the kind of deck a rogue deck should pick on. No, it's not mono white. Might be Esper Doom after all. And I do think rogues can pick on this deck, but my specific version isn't built to do that. We don't run very many counter spells. So this comes down to how many copies of Drown in the Loch we actually draw. And how aggressive I can be. So because they went to 5, I'm going to be like very aggressive here. Cheeky crab attack. Uh-oh. Well, that's an obnoxious one, but we don't have any... I was going to say we don't have any counters, but now we do. This is going to get taken anyway. So we may as well use it here to leverage some damage. $13. Still 56 cards to go. Milling them is going to be very hard. They seem to have handled the mulligan gracefully. Extremely gracefully. They actually turn 4 extinction evented me. Off a mulligan, they went Birth of Meletis, Elspeth's Nightmare, extinction event. That is a lot. I think I'm actually just going to draw here and try to hit our land drop. That's something. Out of their 80-card deck, I might add. You know, just gotta pile on the bad beat story. At least they don't have a blue source. That's about the only thing I have going for me. They also don't have much battlefield stuff for the Yorion to blink, so in a way I've got that going for me too. Drop the Wind Robber, mill them some more. Maybe if we hit all the blue sources in their deck, we'll have a chance. 04, acquired. Yeah, it might be a sign of a weak hand if they have to Yorion here and blink Birth, because they might not even have any planes left. We see 5. I play 5, and I play more planes than most. So they would basically be blinking Birth for a wall. They might be thinking about Shatter, but that doesn't make a lot of sense with a Lurrus in my hand. I wonder what other blue cards they play besides Omen, Dance of the Manse. Alright. Oh. Oh. That sucks. Not what I wanted to see at all. Pick on ya. So, I need to Heartless Act this before I can do the Lurrus loop, or else they'll flicker the Yorion and get rid of the Lurrus, which is unacceptable. But I think we can sacrifice here, draw a card, and just see if we get anything good. Because otherwise I'm spending my whole turn on Heartless Act. And there you go, that is something good. I don't think there's any reason not to fire it off other than make the opponent think. But what if they have a Mystical Dispute and they draw an island? Then I think there's too much downside. So I think we play this. That was not great. Crab and a bunch of land. There's the blue source. Scry to the top. That's not going to stick. We'll see if they have a way to draw it here. Mauling. Alright. Here's a crab. What did you keep? Elspeth. Oh, crap. Okay, then. And they milled a Dream Trawler. Elspeth's annoying, but it's expensive. And it doesn't change the game that much. It doesn't keep us from milling the opponent to death. I still don't think we play the Lurrus. We have to deal with the Skyclave apparition, so it can't get flickered by Yorion. Elspeth is one of the ultimate good, not great cards. Dance of the Manse is online now, though, for the opponent. And it would make sense if they've been holding one. It totally lines up with what could be in their hand. But they're also not nosing in their graveyard. Wait, now they are. It's probably to Elspeth, though.
The tragedy of my death has only strengthened me. I am proud of my comrades.
Okay, no action. Cycle the Triome. Soaring Thought Thief. I can attack the Elspeth, so I guess we'll play it now. Do we want the Elspeth in the graveyard more? Yeah, we do. I mean, it's the mill. Honestly, we're probably not winning this through damage. So, is it time to do the Lurrus thing? If the opponent goes for the Yorion to flicker the apparition, then we can in response Heartless Act the Skyclave. More land is good. Keep it coming. Opponent is going to chuck away the Elspeth.
As I believe.
Probably attack me here. I think I'm willing to take this. There's definitely a world where we get to attack with Lurrus next turn and gain most of this back. The opponent might Elspeth again. They go for Yorion. Trigger. Kill the apparition. So a bit of an empty Yorion, which is good. Do they have another answer for Lurrus? They really need it. Still 37 cards to go, but we've got a lot of mills every turn. Six mills a turn if we keep cards moving. Wow. That's how desperate they are to get rid of the Lurrus. They say, I've got to do this now. So we could hit a Cling to Dust with a draw in another world, but not in this one. That is brutal. Alright, I think them having that play puts us firmly behind, but at least they didn't Dance of the Manse to win the whole frickin' game. Because we definitely could have lost the game there if they just go for a big dance. It might mean they have another, which is tilting. So we're going to leave up a bunch of mana to try to draw into a Drown in the Lock for when they go for second dance. Doom Foretold? Okay. I guess that's not second dance. They only have 2 permanents. I should probably draw anyway. Educate myself. Man, do we need another Into the Story. Okay. Treacherous Blessing. Crap. That's very bad for us. 29 cards. I think we have to let the crab go. So now we're trying to win by damage. That's going to be really hard to do. But they played a Blessing, so who knows. To the top. Into the Story? Not there. Throw the token into the fire here. Just to try to make it look wide open for the opponent to attack into the Enforcer. I thought they'd block with the wall, but that's fine too. Token wasn't doing much. Is not looking good for you. Is not looking good for CGB. Then again, this wasn't the matchup we prepared for. We were hoping that like having a nice curve would like carry us in these matchups, whereas we have all the removal spells for the other matchups, but this opponent curved out perfectly. The Nightmare into Extinction event was so brutal.
Even the gods cannot
They even found their Elspeth Sun's Nemesis at a reasonable time to give us a hard time. There's another Doom Foretold. Alright, well they're at 5. Can we draw a Thought Thief and win? No, they're at 10. Just kidding.
I believe we will find a better tomorrow.
Doom Foretold, indeed. Is it the Thought Thief? I think we need to attack and then draw some cards, quite honestly. I don't think I can give up cards. Cards are my life. Wow. That's brutal. See, if they have to sacrifice 2 of those things, that's better for us.
I cannot escape my failures.
This is our discard. I don't think it matters what we draw, just that we do draw. So we can save it. And I don't think I'm playing anything this turn. They've got the Omen. Yep. Yep. It's all falling apart, but we could still rip into the story, so we're trying to just linger in this game. And they're on 20 cards. Agadeem's Awakening's a good draw too. We've actually flooded pretty hard, now that I look at it. Like, really hard. We actually haven't drawn many spells. For a rogue deck. I mean, relatively speaking. Some of you are going to scoff at that, because scoffing is your business. Oh my god, CGB said this. Oh my god. He's so wrong. I've never heard anyone be so wrong. Wow. Basically all land. Prince. Is it Yorion time? One to top. Second Prince. Alright, they're moving in. We have to rip into the story and try to draw our way back into this. We're going to be a low life total facing a ton of creatures. 2 to the top. We can't just die to damage, so we've got to make that play. And then we have to draw... Well, I told you. We have to draw into the story and then make a bunch of other plays. So the way that this works is not that. Okay, now do you believe I've drawn a lot of land? Now do you believe me? This is one of those hands. If we draw Drown in the Loch or enough land, it's a little sketch. Because the mana could go bad, but it's too good. Like, you just get to fire off these enforcers, which I'm just going turn 1, let's go. What are you gonna do, Blood Chief's Thirst me? You got nothing. What they do probably have is Kroxa. Heads up. So we've got to get these into the stories cached ASAP, which means we have to draw well. I could buy Lurrus there, and it's tempting. Now we actually have to be careful. We don't want to put a Kroxa in their graveyard. So I may not keep attacking until we can find Cling to Dust and cast into the story. Okay, looks like the opponent doesn't plan to give me a choice. They're like, I can mill myself. It's fine. Do we want to eliminate the token? I don't think so, but we'll still get this played. Ah, yes. Lovely. Okay. I think we now try to block. I don't think we try to kill them. Ooh, they found it. They definitely found it. There's enough cards in the graveyard, too, that... On the bright side, we'll just into the story, discard a thing, then eliminate the Kroxa. Oh, they're going this route? Okay, they're not bringing the Kroxa out of the graveyard. We're trying to find Cling to Dust. That's my objective. I can give up the life here. Mm-hmm. Let's do it again. I don't think the play is to like play all these. There's 15 cards in the grave. They can't really empty it. That said, if we play this, this, and this, we're on 3, then we're on 7. Okay, let's go. Play it like a control deck, guys. Play it like a control deck. Let's pay attention to the opponent's scry. We might want to mess it up. They kept 1 card on top. Okay, they're just casting the Kroxas instead of escaping the Kroxas. That's kind of weird, but do what you want to do. I'll keep taking the damage here. We've got plenty of land. Okay, Heartless Act. They could have tried to set us up with blocks first. Looks like they don't care too much about Wind Robber. So we'll take this and save this for the 1 card that they kept on top. So we have double ambush here with the Soaring Thought Thieves. We have Drown in the Loch or Eliminate. We're discarding a Wind Robber most likely, but we may just sacrifice this Robber and see what we draw. So we're good. See how the opponent wants to play this turn. They might have some cards like Scorching Dragonfire, but that puts their Kroxa off. Play it like a control deck. These are removal spells. Might be a Shatterskull smashing. It is. I think we just let this go. Again, play it like a control deck. They did their job. We're going to try to set up the Lurrus endgame. If the opponent brings back Kroxa, which it looks like they're going to do, we're going to sacrifice a Wind Robber, maybe two. We're going to try to draw into a card we don't mind discarding. We'd prefer to eliminate the Kroxa and save Drown in the Lock to defend Lurrus. So let's see what we draw. That can be discarded. Even at the cost of life, it's better to lose that. Cling is here. There's too many Kroxas, though. There's too many Kroxas. We could try to turn aggressive. Play Lurrus. Get Thought Thief. That could be it. But, wait a minute. We don't have enough black mana to defend it. We can't defend it. Let's keep getting cards. We got a lot of nice cards here. Maybe I should be cashing them in to try to keep this game under control. 25 cards in deck. Milling them is doable, but really we want to overwhelm them in cards. Here comes Kroxa again. Do we counter this time? Or do we discard the Cling? Let's draw and see what we find. Do I find something worth discarding? Another Drown? Alright, we'll discard the Cling. And then Drown will defend the Lurrus, but next turn we'll drown the Kroxa if we have to. Mire Triton. Sure. Alright, let's see what we draw next turn. We might find another way to kill the Kroxa. It ends up wasting some mana this turn, but I think it's better to make the right decision. The Drowns are at a premium. There are only counterspells, and there you go. Bloodchief's Thirst. Keep picking away. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. The danger zone is when we get to the point where the opponent can play Kroxa and other things. Alright, let's draw some cards. Go to 4. I think this time we counter the Kroxa. I think it's time. They couldn't deal with the Lurrus last turn. They probably can't this turn, and now we can cycle the Triumph if they do nothing. Oh man, do they have a Bone Crusher Giant? 1, 2. What am I playing around really? Let's look at the deck. 3 Bone Crushers. Those are the Adventure Zone. And Scorching Dragonfire. Alright, we say go. Don't risk it. Lurrus is our endgame and we need it. This can deal with a Kroxa. We could also gain some life right here. Patience. Patience is a win con. There's an Ox. Ox is a lot of cards, but they draw 3. And they discard their hand. Might help with milling them. They do have enough... No, they don't have enough red to do Kroxa and Ox. Not yet. Two mana counter. 4 mana, I'm not sure. I guess Cling? I guess we Cling the Ox. A little bit of a life buffer is a good thing too. I still have the answer to other things, but the Ox and the 3 cards it draws, I think that's their way back in the game. Wow. They must really think they need the land. Or that they'll miss. Oh, I guess it's a Lurrus deck. They know they'll miss. Never mind. Pelika Predation only hits things that cost 3 or more. Of course, Into the Story is a card. Alright, defend! See? I knew they were setting me up. I knew they were setting me up, everybody. Ooh! Alright, so here we can get in for 6 and the life if we play the Thirst. Actually, we get in for more than that. So this is a 2-turn clock with Drown in the lock, so now I think it's time to enter the real end game. They hit another Ox, okay. How do you get out of this? Our worst matchup, but hopefully I've shown that you can't be too aggressive. Okay. Do I care? Not really. Now they go for Ox. We shut it down. Heartbreaker, I know. I'm a bad, bad man. And that'll do it. Rakdos, good night. Leet! Gamers speak win. Well, that's a fun hand on the play. We'll just wind rob them to death. It looks like we get to start out in a mirror. Just what all the fans wanted to see. Shut up and play. This is not friendly magic. No human being would call this friendly magic. This is just a mess, and you know it. So this person, like Damon, plays rogues every day. Every day. I've seen them about 500 times playing rogues. And it looks like their hand is better than mine. Good for them. But we'll see if they can answer the Thought Thieves. It looks like they're going to attack the deck. I'm going to attack their face. Okay, they're holding up mana. How nice. Let's see what they do with it. Heartless Act. Yeah, we'll just counter that. We do have to beat them to death. It's the only way. I'll just play this now, get around counter magic in case that's what's in their hand, and we just hope their hand is like super reactive. And this is how we get them. It's the mill versus the damage. Let's hope that their hand is like into the story, so then we get to punch them really hard, and then we draw one counter spell and we sneak out a win. After 2 minutes of roping, the decision is go. Love to see it. What you got? Pretty sure I'll draw some action here somewhere. Would you like to block? You wouldn't? Alright, I'm going to deal you more damage. Didn't say please, you got it. What, around 28 cards? I think what I do is I hold the Heartless Act, and I try to hit either the Lurrus, or I try to hit a Soaring Thought Thief to block. Ooh, take 3? You must be feeling really good about this play. Goes down to 4. Gutsy call. It must be a very stabilizing play. It looks like it's Agadeem's Awakening. That won't save you. Oh wait, will it? Okay, you've got 2 flying blockers now. So we destroy target creature with no counters. That is you. And now we have to draw another removal spell. Come on, removal spell. Kill this roguer. This dirty, dirty rogue player. Oh wait, I'm playing rogues too. Alright. Missed. Yep, time to make those sad blocks as a crab. Try it. Definitely trade off for damage. We don't want to draw the card. We buy the Lurrus. 21 cards, 33 for the opponent, 2 life. Damage usually beats mill. Let's see if it holds true. Buys Lurrus. If they had a removal spell, they'd play it now while I'm empty-handed, so I think they're dead. But let's find out. They could have a blocker here. It's an Enforcer. That will not save you. Cling to Dust, though, on the other hand. Cling to Dust for life does keep you alive. Indeed. The opponent with the right combination of cards to see another turn. We get first Lurrus, though, and it'll take most of their mana next turn to play their Lurrus. 2 straight lands off the top for us. So let's play the Wind Robber, it flies. If the opponent kills the Thought Thief somehow, we can get it back with the Lurrus. But the opponent's at 3. This could get very complicated. So they get back a flyer of some kind. Do they want the Thought Thief to block? What is it going to be? They get the Thought Thief. Okay. So now, once again, if we find the removal spell, there goes a Haggard Mauling, there goes a Drown in the Lock, there goes an Into the Story. Alright, here we go. Little Hollywood action. So I think we draw. Let's take a shot. Fire a bullet into the deck. Another thief. Does that do it? Yes, it does. On God. We now have 3/3s in the air. We also can't attack with our Lurrus. If we do, the opponent can block with the Lurrus and gain life. Close game. A good effort, like Damon, the daily rogue gamer. Thank you for your service to the community, making everybody post salty things in my Discord. And, of course, salty comments on YouTube. You're doing good work. Don't stop for anyone. And we are back for the post-game wrap-up, and I think I showed some of the things I'm talking about. How to play it slow, like a boa constrictor slowly suffocating its prey, tearing cards from their library, reducing their options, countering their spells, and demoralizing them with draw fours while they are simply top-decking. And anyway, yeah, I think for the most part, I kind of showed where I'm coming from with playing this more like a control deck. Hopefully it helps some of you who are out there grinding with rogues and maybe stuck in platinum and wondering what you're doing wrong. If this deck is so good, why do I lose? That kind of thing. And feel free, again, to adjust these spots against more Yorion decks and control decks if that's what you really want to torture. Run Mystical Dispute and Negate, sub some of these out. But against Gruul and things like that, I think that these are very important. If you see a lot of Rakdos, you might want 4 Cling to Dust. I usually ladder with 4 Cling to Dust because people really hate this deck, and that's good. Use it. Use the hatred. Did we get to 1,000 dislikes? If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and dislike this video if you absolutely hate my deck. That's fine. Let it out. Maybe you'll feel a little better. Maybe you'll walk with your shoulders back in good posture and your chest buffed out a little higher because you disliked that rogue video. Whatever I can do to help you feel cool. Remember to download MTG Assistant to check out metagame stats, deck stats, and all kinds of other cool info, including finding videos, write-ups, and stuff like that from aetherhub.com. There is a link in the description. It does support the channel. I get tiny bit of money if you download this free tool. So consider helping the channel if you want to. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Remember, get out of the green, go blue, hit subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.